a very overwhelming introduction, Ma'am Basia. I really hope I could do justice to that really big introduction given to me today. Sa mga halangdo na mo yung mga bisita, Mayor, Mr. Mihalis, sa mga teachers, namon, sa mga classmates and batchmates nakon yung mga teachers na subong, wow! Sa mga hinaplos, mga apo, nga probably ari din na nag-graduate, diba ninyo? Mga ginikanan, nanay, tatay, lola, at mga lolo, maayong hapon sa inyo nga tanan. Hearing the introduction given to me by Ma'am Basia, maybe you must be thinking now that this woman before us today will giving us how big she has become. Well, you will say, because I will stand here before you now, mga manggod ko, ladies and gentlemen, inday ka mga toto, just the humble new Olvido that I was, that I always am. Isa ka Benitinian, isa ka taga-barangay Daga, isa ka Kadislon, isa ka Simanwa ninyo. And the good news is, I will not bore you. I have traveled this far, left my family, left my work for a week, left that red carpet event which is supposed to honor me tomorrow, because I want to spend this few minutes, precious few minutes with you. And guess what? The last thing that I want to do is actually make this few minutes useless. I don't want to waste your time, nor my time. So, I ask our village, graduates, parents around, teachers, please lend me your ears with your open hearts for the next few minutes. Because communication only happens well when there are two people listening and talking. Alright? So I'll do my part in talking a little bit. I'll try to be as interesting as could be. And please, open your ears and hearts to listen and absorb what I'm telling you today. And the good news is, another one, I'm not here to give a typical commencement graduation speech. I'm here to bring you the gift that I've carried from far and away. My gift of learning to you through stories. So I ako dito to tell you stories, istoryahanay kita. Alright? Deal? Right. Let me start with giving you a story of one of my closest office mates. One day, one night, brother, she rang me. Hey, you, guess what? She loves pets, by the way. I have just procured a new pet. And what is that? A talking parrot. Gorgeous talking parrot. But wow! Following day came. Expectedly, our coffee time in the office was filled with stories about this gorgeous talkative parrot. Hey, Lou, she's really that gorgeous. Talkative, articulate. Second day, hey, guess what? I bought my parrot a lovely golden cage because I just simply want her to feel like she is a princess among the parrots in the world. The third day came. Guess what, Lou? Because she has read through many internet and she has learned that the trend nowadays for birds is to actually have the gymnasium sort of thing inside their cage. Guess what, Lou? I bought for my parrot some sort of a seesaw, some sort of a jumping hoop. Wow. So again, that parrot story has become the talk of the town, the talk in the office. On the fourth day, she went back to the pet shop, complaining, screaming hard at the shop assistant, and telling her, what is happening to this very expensive parrot? you? She is not even moving. What serve? How can she serve me? She's no longer talking. And the shop assistant calmly listened and asked her back, "Ma'am, when was the last time you feed this parrot?" Long silence was the answer. Because guess what? That excited, overly excited friend of mine forgot to feed the parrot from the very moment that she brought the parrot home. She, ladies and gentlemen, forgot the basic, the most important necessity of that parrot. Correct me if I'm wrong, many of us tend to complicate our life by really making ourselves busy in aiming and gathering the not essential things in life. Most often forgetting about the basics. And to you, my dear graduates, mga mangkod-nakon, the very first gift in the very first story that I've shared with you is actually the lesson to reflect, okay? Then when you go out from this quadrangle, the world out there is very tough, I can tell you this. I'm not one of those speakers who will say to you that the world out there is all a bed of roses, smooth ride. No. The world out there is so harsh. They can be very cruel. It is difficult. And it's easy for us to get tempted to forget who we really are. Because human tendency is we try to compare ourselves with others. One poem that I could not forget and continues to inspire me in my life was a poem that I read when I was your age. It's the Siddhartha. One of the lines that says, that is there, that I could still recall it, suggesting or recommending, stop comparing yourself to others. Because you will simply become vain or bitter. And do not forget that in life, there are always people who are less than or more than yourself. So why compare? Just like the parrot story that I have told you, I have shared with you. My friend forgot the basics. For you, most people around here, we tend to forget the basics. And the basic is simply knowing who we are. Who we truly are. Simply knowing our strengths and developing them to make our lives better and to help the life of others better. Simply knowing our weaknesses, because it's only knowing our weaknesses that we can improve on them. Right? So, my dear graduates, one of the very first gifts that I have brought you today is to remind you, no matter what the temptation outside in this difficult world will bring you, don't be tempted to change yourself just to suit other standards. Because you are precious on your own right and package. Isn't it? In school, when somebody wears a brand new skinny jeans, wow! Nagadalag ko ang mata, kagatulo ang laway ka. Ingos kay nanay ka kay tatay, para magka-skinny jeans ka man. Why? To look in. Hindi ka ngayon kay tambo ka. Human nature is simply that. You know, we may laugh at it, I may laugh at it, but as I give you this suggestion, I also do remind myself, because as human beings, we always have this tendency, right? So please, may I remind you again, simply know yourself, love yourself, and be proud of who you are. that I knew. This girl was a superstar. She was known to her classmates, teachers, as a star student. But little did this, teachers, classmates, classmates that knew her, knew that she too had struggles in life. She had been going to school with torn shoes, torn pair of shoes. And she called those shoes as smiling shoes. She was very smart. Hence, one day she said, there is no way that I will have to expose myself to embarrassment. So what did she do? She knows for a fact that she will catch more flies with honey than vinegar. You see what I mean? So what she did, I have to make every effort to be able to smile more and brighter so that people will be magnetized to their smile rather than look at my smiling shoes. And I think she was smart because she did that. Hardly anyone noticed that she was wearing a pair of smiling shoes. And people loved her because of her cheerful spirit and funny disposition. She grew up in life and brought that positivism and the cheerful spirit even at work. And there you go, people loved her more. And that was one of the key things that she had, or one of the traits that she possesses from the smiling shoes that has helped her actually be successful. It did not stop there. Another story of this young girl that I knew is, many did not know this, but she shared it with me. She lived through several full school years with simply one pair of socks. Yuck. Gross. I can see those soft faces now. No, but she told me a trade secret. She never went to school, not a single day, that she went to school with unwashed, bad-smelling socks. Because every day, the only trade secret was wash and wear. Wash and wear, roll the pair of socks into a towel, twist it some more, hang it out, and presto. Every morning, she had clean, fresh-smelling pairs of socks. And guess what? That young girl always had walked every day in school, was continuing to amaze her teachers, her classmates, because she displayed this dignity on her face. They did not know that this girl, same girl, was wearing the same pair of socks every day. She did not show it, right? And nobody knew. So the lesson in that, I guess, is, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how less we have in life, no matter how poor we are, no matter how underprivileged we are, we have to keep ourselves clean. We have to be honest. Honesty is? Right, that's it. Honesty is the best policy. We have to walk the walk of life, no matter how difficult it is, keeping our dignity intact. Because again, even with just one pair of socks, all throughout, you can walk the path of life with your head up. So again, let's make that clear. Keep your dignity intact. You know what? This young girl also used to sell sweets just to get a little bit more of extra peso. You know, and what are the sweets? Yema. Yummy yema. And coconut balls. Coconut balls out of what? Do you think she buys it from the market? No. She makes the coconut balls herself out of lahing. You know what is lahing? Lahing and lobe. And when she picks them up, then she smalling, going to Bacolod, playing Jackson, playing the Carter, what is this, chatting with friends, on the internet with Facebook. She has spent her weekend attending to her younger siblings and actually going to the beach side, mangahoy. You know what's pangahoy? Pangahoy para may igatong. And along the process, she picks up the lahing too. And out of the lahing, she makes coconut balls and sell it to her classmates. And then she has extra pesos in her hand. That has helped her actually surpass the many days when the worker parents had nothing to give her as baon. Alright? So what this coconut ball and Yema selling story is giving us today from that girl's story? It is giving us, that out of our nothingness, we can do more. It is teaching us that less is actually more. It is teaching us not to moan in life. It is teaching us not to complain all the time. It is teaching us to accept what we have and be resourceful enough to make the most and the best of what we have. And you know what? That little girl has also taken risks. Another key in getting your success, the success that you want, is for you to take risks. When she reached college, she graduated, she has been given a job in a very good company that many of the fresh graduates will always aspire for. When she was there, she was already given a supervisory post, but then here comes an opportunity to go abroad, just like me. Just like many of you, she wanted to go abroad. Why? Because she wants that one high target, money, dollars. Because she wants to help her parents to raise and send to school her younger siblings. And she took the risk. She has sacrificed her supervisory role for a young graduate to be given such a supervisory role in one of the most prestigious and sought-after companies in her province. That was a risk. And you know what? She took a job abroad to be a what? To be a sales girl, ladies and gentlemen. To be a sales girl. She took that risk, but you know what? That risk was a calculated risk. That was a very calculated risk. Why I say it's calculated risk? Because she knows, she promised herself, when I go there as a sales staff, I will not remain as a sales staff. I will continue to give my best and show the international arena of sales that I am one of the best sales staff there is in the world. So as a sales staff, you're just expected to smile. Hi sir, good morning, good afternoon, what would you like sir? Alright? This girl has always remind herself and ask herself, what else can you do more? For a sales staff, what is expected you is to simply smile. Ask what your customer wants and sell it. But this girl, there are no boring moments. She has to sell, and if there's no customer, she cleans the shop. She was not thinking, back there I was a supervisor. No, there was no air on her head. Alright? There was no air. And yet, sure enough, that was a calculated risk because of the extra something that she has always known. She has been promoted to become a trainer. Later, she became a training officer. You see how beautiful life can be if we all just have to try harder? And you know what? A key to success is always ask yourself, if you are asked to give 1 peso, if somebody approached you, and mga tao dahil hindi ka pa naman ako dahil isa ka peso, papakalan ko na sa bulo. If you have 2 pesos to spare, give 2 pesos. Why only 1? Likewise, if you land a job somewhere, and your boss does expect you to come from 8 to 5, give a little bit more. Why not come 7:30 and by 6? To show that you're really working hard. So again, a key to success by this little girl is telling us, always give more. than what is just expected of you. Always ask yourself, what is there that I can do more so that I will stand out as an outstanding sales girl, carpenter, sales executive, manager? Ask yourself that. Did this girl have any broken dreams? Yeah, it's all like painted to you as nice stories. Did this girl have any broken dreams? She did have. And I can name a few. When she was young, she was always told by her family and relatives that one of these days, this will be the mayor of the family. One of these days, this will be the successor of one mayor Lolo of her family. She will be a lawyer. So when I was in college, I saw this little girl running. She was a candidate in one of the barangays to run for SK chairman. Alright? She lost the battle. Because of course, she's not a native of the barangay and she did not have enough political support. She lost the battle. For her, she was very sad. You know why? She was sad because she failed. She thought she failed her family. She did not have the conviction to be a politician. She has the right to serve, the heart to serve, and she was very capable. But she was very sad because she thought that she failed her family for not winning. But you know what? That little girl later connected the dots. Because you can only connect the dots in your life only after you saw the many years that had passed, right? She understood that God has bigger plans for her. And that was her calling. That was her destiny. For wherever she was brought by God, there she is now. She was very successful. And since that made her family happy. Because she has never forgotten to always look back and help her family. And the biggest broken dream of this girl is, just like many of us, you know, when you're probably working mothers or going to school, you tend to follow them when you were little, right? When they put the makeup on, when they put the dress on, and I could see that for my own daughter. Now my daughter, every morning when I prepare for work, she follows me. She looks at how I put my makeup on, she looks at how I put my lipstick on, she really looks at me with wholesomeness in her eyes. Wow, one day, you can tell, one day I will be like my mom. But this little girl that I was telling you about, that was not the picture of her past memory with her mother. She was following her mother one morning, and suddenly, she saw her mother drop a toothpick and an empty shell of lipstick and kind of wave as much as she can the last pigment that she could find in that empty shell of lipstick. And the poor mother tried to spread the lipstick on her lips, on her face, just to look a little bit good to go to office. Women, girls, young ladies, we have this teenage vanity wishes in our hearts. And see, my mother, she could not also buy a lipstick for herself. And that girl, she could not buy a lipstick for herself, so I could really feel her heart ache. That girl was promised herself, I will have to study hard, because the first salary I will get, I will buy my mother all the colors of lipstick available in the whole world. But sad, because that little girl did not see the realization of that very dream. Because her mother, because they were very poor, her mother had acquired a disease which is very easy to cure if only they had extra resources. She had acquired tuberculosis, it had gone worse, and her mother died when she was graduating. She was supposed to graduate in March, her mother died in February. That was very heart-wrenching, right? Because she was almost there. She was almost there, just 2 months away from getting that big dream of hers fulfilled. To get a job when she graduates and buy her mother a lipstick. But that little girl did not consider that as an obsolete and fulfilled dream. Because then that made her promise that for so long as she lives, She will give love to all the parents around her, even not her, the titas, the titos around her. And she will give charity to the old people who are less privileged than they are. And now you will ask me, Mama Lu, Miss Lu, Tita Lu, how really true those gifts that you're giving us are? How really true and effective those pointers you're giving us in bringing us to the success we want? I can only tell you that these are very true and effective. Because that little girl that I was telling you about is standing right here in front of you now. Wala inuksite, sa eskulahan, nagalakas, from Bliss to Gawaldon, to Cadiz East Elementary School, to Dr. Vicente Gustilo, kung wala inuksite. So I said to walk 3 kilometers up and down, rain or shine, because wala inuksite. But guess what? Where is that training of walking brought me? It brought me to travel around the globe. Isn't it beautiful? You simply have to enjoy life set at that very moment. I can guarantee you, you will never fail. You will never fail. Just do not forget the basics, and you will never fail. Are you happy with the gift that I brought you from the life? Only those who are happy are those who listen very well. And I don't care for those who did not listen. It's not my book. It's your book. And you know what? Because I was telling Coconut Ball and Yellow before, this is where I get my public speaking skills. Do let me only connect properly. I raise my voice whenever I feel like I needed to raise my voice. Because when you sell, you really have to sell hard. You have to be very convincing. You have to beg if you need to beg. You know? But you know, I am one of the good communicators in Dubai. Not because I speak powerfully, not because I speak eloquently, not because of my English, it's never perfect. It's because I listen well. I have the gift of listening with my heart. And the sad news, when you go out there, people do not want to listen. People simply want to talk. Now I talk a lot because the microphone is given to me. I have this permission to really talk a lot at this very moment. Otherwise, I am not a talker. I only talk when I needed to talk, but I am sure that every word that comes from my mouth is something which others would really learn from. Graduates, when you go out there, I want you to fight the temptation of getting the limelight by talking. Talking more. You have to learn to listen more. Because it's in listening and observing when you really get to speak to yourself and to God. Above all this, what I can tell you, I was lucky because I was raised by my parents, by my Lola Bilen, who always have been very prayerful. In ups and downs, I always do not forget to pray. If nobody wants to talk to me, for what I have my God to talk to. And in all my wishes, I speak to God. God, I want this, I want this, I want that. And you know what? If you have clear intention, you know what you want. The nature, there's a law in life that we do not use effectively. Ask and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive. Did you notice when I started my speech, what did I ask you? I asked you to listen to me intently. Open your heart. And I guess I succeeded because I can still see that you are listening to me. Amen? So you have to ask and you will receive. But you know what? You will receive more beyond what you have prayed and hoped for if you have clean heart. And if your desire of what you have asked for is to actually not only to keep for yourself, but to give and share to others, God will bless you more. And be ready when you ask and aspire for something, because God loves to pamper good children. Okay? He loves to pamper good children. Be ready to receive the overwhelming joy of what He is ready to give. We have an awesome God, ladies and gentlemen. So lastly, I think you're now hurrying up to finish this program before it's rain hard. Lastly, I would like you to look at and consider every obstacle that you have in life as lemons. Lemons! You know, because they're sour. Ano tatanging lemon? Kalamunte. Kalamansi, right? So in life, if you go out there, kalamansi, or lemon, samo na. Everyday life will throw lemons at you in any form. Problem after problem after problem. Life will throw lemons at us any moment. Alright? And here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, I want you to raise your arms as if you're holding a mug in your hand. Raise your arms. Imagine, let us see your creativity. Creativity is one of the traits to becoming successful. Let us imagine you're holding a mug in your hand. Alright? Hold it. Now, the many lemons that I have gathered in life, I have just made them into a sweet lemonade. Now I'm giving each one of you pour in your cup. I hope you can fill your cup. So go, welcome the lemons in your life, make them lemonade. Cheers, everybody. Cheers.